Good morning, wherever you are in the world. This is Jen Sugarmeyer, your host of Mindset in the Morning, and I am looking a little, I'm looking a little fierce now that I see myself. We're talking this week about confidence. We talk a lot about confidence. It is one of my favorite topics. The book came out yesterday, y'all. My new book, Confidence is Queen, is finally in the stores. And so you can get it on most online places, whether that be Barnes and Noble, Amazon, most of the online places. There's a whole list of them, but those are, I think, are the most two popular ones. So you can go out to those and get a copy of the book. But we've been talking about confidence specifically this week, more so than other times because the book came out. And I've just been so excited about just all the amazing feedback that I've had about it. And I'm excited for the transformation. So today we're going to talk about saying yes more. And the reason I look fierce is because I said yes to something that, not that I would have said no before. So I said yes to something and I was up really late. So I've had very little sleep. And anyway, so that's why I look like this, but it's fine. It's fine. I might go back to bed after this. So we've talked several times on the show about saying no to other people and starting to say yes to you. But what does it look like to actually say yes? It's one thing to say, I'm going to start saying yes more, but there's a whole bunch of emotions that come along with that. So I'm not going to pretend like you saying yes is an easy thing. Like, oh yeah, all of a sudden you have this thing called confidence. Now you start saying yes. First of all, everything that you do is one step at a time. You put one step in front of the other and you just start moving forward. And it's not take a leap. Now, all of a sudden, I am the social butterfly. Now, all of a sudden, I say yes to all the things. Now, all of a sudden, I'm building businesses overnight. Like everything you do is one step at a time. So this isn't something that's just like you leap in and like now you're the expert at saying yes to all the things. No, I mean, it's like you say yes to something, give it a try. You're like, oh, okay. And then you do that. So we're going to talk about 5 different things that I want you to think about as you are starting to come across these situations and you think, okay, should I be saying yes to this? And as you're starting to go through your evaluation process, and maybe that'll get easier as you go through things. So we're going to talk through that. But first, we are live on this channel 5 days a week. Y'all, it is 4 a.m. where I'm at. So I'm just saying I am committed to 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, 5 days a week. I almost said 6 days a week, but Lord have mercy. I'll just take the weekends to sleep. So 5 days a week, Central Standard Time. So if you've not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps blow up the algorithm. And the point here is that we want to become our most powerful selves. We want to become the person that we know that we're destined to be. We don't want to shy away from anything. We don't want to hold back because we know we live one life. And I want each one of you to be living the life that you know that you deserve. And so getting intentional, the point is to watch this in the morning, but it's YouTube, so you can watch it whenever you'd like. But it's getting intentional about how do we want our lives to look. And when we wake up in the morning, that's when we should be thinking about these things. We eat that breakfast in the morning and we say, oh my gosh, yeah, I've got the breakfast that just set me on the right amount of energy for the day. Or you work out and you say, man, now I got energy for the day. Well, what are you doing for your mind? What are you doing for your mind? And that's what we need to be working on is the holy trinity of the mind, body, soul. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so that we can reach other people so that they can be getting this mindset message as well. So I'm coming at you. It's free. I'm not asking for anything. It's just join my channel. That's currency. So, all right. So how do you start saying yes more? I want you to imagine, we did this exercise yesterday. Imagine what your life would look like if you started to say yes more. What would it look like? Are there areas that you can identify today that no, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I can do it. I don't have time, or yeah, I don't know, that this just doesn't really seem like me, but maybe it is something that you really want to do. Maybe you're a little out of your league. And look, y'all, I got to tell you, last night, I felt a little bit like a fish out of water. And I'm admitting this to you because you're my family. And So I got invited to this yacht last night. It was 150 influencers. And I got invited because I had signed up for this program with a coach. I'm big into coaching. I think every coach needs a coach. I think every person needs a coach. I think everybody needs a coach. Every coach's coach needs a coach. So I got a coach. And with that, they said, hey, would you like to come on this yacht? And I said, okay, that's great. I mean, I didn't even think about it. In fact, when I heard that they were going to include that, I thought, what a great opportunity. So there was no hesitation on my part to say yes. But I will say, when I got there, I felt like a fish out of water. And I think even my imposter syndrome crept up some. And I thought, oh my gosh, they raised $500,000 last night. They were having, somebody was bidding a painting and then another painting. And anyway, people, and I was watching this bidding war. And I'm like, oh, that'd be nice to spend $175,000 on a painting for a cause. It was just really interesting to observe. But I did feel a little bit like a fish out of water because I don't want to say I felt uncomfortable, but these people are really at a different point. And I've had to do some soul searching after this, like, why did I feel a little bit uncomfortable? And I was still talking to some people, but it was a little bit different. I was not quite as chatty as I normally am. And that was a little odd for me. So I have to do some looking into that. Like, why didn't I say yes to more conversations? Why didn't I, just walk up and start talking to more people? I did for some, but not as many as I could have. So I have to do some of the soul searching within myself. So when you think of what would you say yes to more? Would you have said yes to that cruise? Would you have even gone on it? Or would it have been way too intimidating that you would never even consider it? Would you just walk up to people and say, hey, or would you be, too scared of hearing a no or being rejected or whatever that may be? And again, look, I just published a book on confidence. I'm sitting here talking to you about confidence, and every single one of us, we have to practice at it. So me being with this level of people, whatever that level of people may be, whether that be, financial bank accounts or whatever that is, that's growth for me. And I have to get used to being comfortable in it. But I said yes to get there. So what is it that you are telling yourself no? What are you holding back from? I feel like I went to a rock concert. Can you hear it in my voice? But what are you saying no to? And you really want to say yes. So think about those things. What are some things that come to mind? Maybe it's within your family. Maybe it's within your dating life. Maybe you want to be dating and yet you're not. And why is that? Why aren't you putting yourself out there? Maybe you're just sick and tired of all the crap that's out there. But there are other ways. Have you tried those? Do you want to try those? Is that something you would say yes to? Is it building a business? Is it asking your boss for a raise? Do you think you need more money or not need? Are you worth more money? Yeah, you are. Yeah. Do you think you're getting paid fairly? And you may say, yeah, no, I'm paid fairly. It's great. But you may say, no, and I deserve that raise because I've been with this company for so many years. And it's time that they give me more than a 1%, 2%, 3% raise. I know there was COVID, but I haven't had a raise in 10 years. So what are those things for you that you would start to say yes to? Or that you would step out and ask for? What are those things? So it starts to get really clear. So first, I want you to think about, how do you succeed if you don't say yes? Like literally. I talk about the train quite often and getting asked out. I get asked out when I'm on the train more often than not. There are a lot of homeless people that ride the train in Dallas. And guess what? They're the ones that are asking me out. And they just walk up to me and say, hey, yo. I'm like, what's up? They say, hey, can I get your number? I'm like, no. I'm like, okay. But okay, maybe, that didn't work out the way they thought it was going to. But they just go, okay, cool. and move on. But 100%, it would never, ever happen. Okay, anyway, it's 100% never going to happen. But like, seriously, they won't even ever get a chance if they don't try. It's like winning the lottery. You're literally never going to win if you never play. That is step one. How do you win the lottery? What's the strategy? Well, you have to play. You have to play the lottery in order to win. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. So how do you succeed? How do you grow that business? How do you ask somebody out? How do you ask for that raise? I mean, you're never going to reach your level of accomplishment or success or whatever that is if you hold yourself back. So I want you to sit with that. I want you to sit with that for a minute and say, do you want to succeed? What is it that you want to accomplish? What is that fire that's inside of you saying, hey, I need to be doing this more, right? What is that thing that's motivating you? And you're holding yourself back. And this can be in everything. Again, it's literally, should you buy a lottery ticket or not? Like, you're not going to succeed one without the other. But it's so easy for us to say, oh, just start saying yes more. But what does it look like? Like, what are you able to accomplish? What are you able to do? What does that thing of success look like? What does success look like once you've gotten it? Once you've asked for that raise, now what? Now what do you do with your life? Do you have more money to go on a vacation? Do you have more money to give back? Like all of these people spending money like I've never seen last night. This painting went for, two paintings went for $175,000. Just like, boom. Like, that's amazing. That's amazing. It was incredible. But what would it look like for you now if you had more money? And it doesn't have to be a selfish thing. Money doesn't have to be selfish. Oh, now I have more money and I can buy all these things for myself. You may want a bigger house. You may want a bigger vehicle. I don't know. Maybe you have a big family. It's not selfish. It's what works for you. Now, if you want to do something out of ego, yeah, maybe that's selfish. But just because you want a bigger house, I mean, you may want it because you deserve it. You earned it. You always wanted that house, and that's okay. You have the right to whatever your dreams are. So don't think that money equals selfish, or that, money, and put some negative connotation with it. Think through that in your own life. But if you don't put yourself out there to succeed, or to get whatever that thing is that you want, how are you going to succeed? You're going to stay right where you are, right where you're at. Will you have any regrets as you come across these situations in your day? You're like, oh, I should say yes. Like, I had a little bit of a regret last night as I was getting off the boat. I thought, I should say yes. I should have said yes and talked to more people. I should have been a little more tenacious. There was part of me that was a little reserved. Me reserved? Yeah, I was. And I don't know if it was, I don't know how to act around these people. I don't know if I put them on a pedestal, or, I don't know what. But yeah, I still talk to people. But was I holding back? Do I have regret from doing that? Did they get to see the real Jen Sugarmeyer? I mean, I talked to people. I told my story. I was authentic. But could I have just been a little more me? Could I have let my shoulders loose a little bit instead of standing up so straight and just been me? Just dance a little bit more? There was no dancing, by the way. I was like, why? Why is nobody dancing? That's usually me that gets out there and dances. Why didn't I do that? So do I have regret from last night? I mean, I said yes, and I'm glad I was there. I got to be in this incredible room with some huge names that you see. I was like, this is crazy. I'm just at this party with Pedro Adao and, Pete Vargas and all these people. I'm like, that's weird, but I'm here. I could have said yes more to myself, and now I have regret. So I don't want you to have any regret. And the thing is, like, I'm not walking around like, I have so much regret. I walked off, and as I was walking back to my hotel, I said, next time you do better. Like, next time, just grow. So it's just learn and grow. So I'm not in the state of suffering. I woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I want you to think through things in your life, because there will be a point that maybe you aren't able to do those things. What are they? Will you have a lifetime of regret if you're not able to accomplish this thing? Start a family, get in a relationship. If you never ask for that raise, if you never change jobs, if you never push yourself, if you never, what is that thing? Because at some point, all of our time will expire. So think about what it is that you would regret. I want you to think about, like, no matter how scary it may be, what is better that's on the other side? So yeah, you can say no, but what opportunity is on the other side? What are you saying no to? How does your life get better? For me last night, I don't know, might I have found a partnership that I could work with somebody or speak on their stage, or, an opportunity to tell them my testimony, and maybe that would impact them in some capacity. I don't know. What is better on the other side? I may have held back from some opportunities that who knows if I'd ever get again. But what might that have looked like if I had said yes a little more? And I don't want you to think I was just sitting in the corner, because I wasn't. But I'm using that example because we're there. So what does your life look like? What is that thing that's better, that's on the other side? And imagine, how do you feel now that you have that thing? Or now that you've been able to accomplish that thing? Or now that that thing has become a success, that thing has happened in your life? What does it look like? What does it feel like? When your feet hit the floor in the morning, you're like, man, I did that thing. I have that thing. I accomplished that thing. How do you now feel? Like, yes, you have it in your life. And maybe it's like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. But how does that strengthen you as a person? What changes in your life? And I want you to think about what is better because you said yes. I want you not only to think about what happens if I do this, but what happens if I don't? What are you missing out on? What are you missing out on? Will your life stay the exact same? Will that keep you right where you're at? It's sometimes it's so scary for us to step into something new that we're like, we'll just stay right where we're at. But I want you to imagine, I want you to play that tape forward. What if you stay right where you're at and you do nothing? What does your life look like without that thing in it? And I think about these, people that want to be in relationships. So if you decide that you don't want to say yes to anybody, you don't want to put yourself out there because you're afraid of being hurt. Maybe you got hurt before and you're afraid of that happening again. Like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to get anybody. I'm not going to be successful in finding a partner. But if I stay by myself, what does it look like in 5 years, in 10 years? So if you never try, how is it going to look in your life? And lastly, the only way to build confidence is to do it. And it was the same exact thing that I told myself as I got off that boat yesterday. And I said, Jen, you could have done better with talking to people. You could have showed up more powerfully. You could have walked up to more people and had conversations. And for whatever reason, I definitely held myself back from what I'm used to. Like, I know what I'm capable of with having conversations. And for whatever reason, I just wasn't at that same level. Doesn't mean I was at no level. It means I wasn't at that level. And I need to figure that out. But the only way to build my confidence I mean, I did. I started with my confidence last night. And now next time, I'm committed to doing better. Y'all, that's the only way you're going to improve. That is the only way that you will improve. You will build your confidence as you put yourself out there and you are saying yes to more things. It is going to be easier to say yes to more things. It's going to be easier to walk up to more people and just talk to them or ask them out or say, yes to partnerships or business opportunities or whatever that may be. You've just got to start saying yes. That's where it all starts. So I hope this has helped you with getting out there. Think about today what you want to say yes to. And I want you to become aware as these situations start to creep up when you're like, no. Whenever you start to feel that force of no, that's when I want you to think about, why is my body saying, hold on, and tell yourself it's going to be okay. Like the world's not going to fall apart. It's going to be okay. You trust yourself. You believe in who you are. And yeah, it might not turn out the way you think it is, but it's definitely not going to turn out the way you think it is if you never say yes. And you know that sometimes you start and, okay, maybe you've got to practice a little bit more. And you try it again, and then you practice a little bit more and try it again, and then you accomplish whatever it is. So whatever it is for you today, I want you to think about that. Go out there and start saying yes more to the things that you want to say yes to. Imagine what it looks like in your life and make your life happen. So, all right, I will see you here tomorrow, same time, same place. I will be back in Dallas, Texas. For now, I am San Diego. If you've not already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you're finding massive value from this,